at this point, I use ChatGPT more than I use my calendar, my notes app, and even Google, and I'm not going back. Today I want to break down how I really want to break down my relationship with AI and how it progressed from me not using it at all to where I am now. We'll go past, present, future, a little chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. And yeah, let's just jump in because it's been such a fucking game changer. If you don't know me, you're new to the channel. Hi, friend. I'm Will Mosley, a parentpreneur. I've been doing business for, forever. Like Jesus Christ, I've been parenting for, I don't want to say forever, but like 11 years now. And we're all vibes about self-development, business help, all that type of stuff. Learn from my fuck ups. This is not me telling you exactly how to do something, but more my personal journey and the stuff that I've gone through. And if it helps you, great. If it doesn't, well, I'm so sorry. All right, ChatGPT. By now, I think everyone knows what ChatGPT is, but pretty much like for the 1% that don't, this amazing, beautiful AI tool that you can throw all your hopes and dreams and everything into it, and it comes back and makes you feel good about your decisions. It can be the perfect yes person. Anyways, before AI, I've always been like a technical person. Like I've always been obsessed with like computers and just the inner workings of like technology. So I've always been the person that most people go to when they're like, hey, Will, how do I fix this? Or hey, Will, how can I do this? Or what software should, like, I've always been that person. And I've always been a person to experiment with technology. It's funny because like my son King now is at the point where he just is every single day playing around, trying to figure out new ways to do all sorts of different things. And I remember just so long ago, I remember thinking to myself, wouldn't it be great for like technology to be able to be like my assistant, okay? And by the way, I do have an assistant, but like before I had an assistant, like, wouldn't it be great if I could like tell it the things I needed to do and then it just is able to help me? And over the years, they've came out with different things that have been called like assistants. Siri is your assistant. There's been a lot of different assistants, but all it really is like you talking into like your phone and it doing a pretty poor job of like just adding tasks to your calendar or tasks to your like your task manager or whatever. There's never really been a true assistant, like digital assistant that now exists today. So I, like most people that don't have a person that can go out and do all their things for them, I leveled up on learning, like educating myself, and then also Google was pretty much, if you want to think about it, like the assistant. You're like, I wonder, how many paws cats have, like whatever the question is, like you're like, okay, Google, I'm gonna go Google it. And so that was probably our closest step next to like an assistant. And then like oh man, I'm just having a moment here. Just really, I don't know, maybe I'm just like dating myself. Maybe I'm just like thinking and kind of reminiscing, but it's like so much is possible today. So much is just available to us today that just did not exist, 20 years ago. And so I look around, I think to myself, I'm like, God, Jesus, like when did this all happen? Like I remember the MySpace days, and I remember like the AOL days, like the AIM days. I remember that stuff. And all of this seemed like in those times like the biggest invention, because it was being able to communicate with someone online that's crazy. Like, that saves you so much time. And so, like, with all these tools, like, it all has, like, yes, we've given up so much privacy in our lives, but there's been so much innovation that has just pushed the needle forward. And I guess I'm just kind of getting stuck there just for a second. It's like over here, like, thinking, like, Jesus Christ. Anyways, let me pull myself back together as I reminisce on technology. I remember getting to a point, like, in my career, and I got really, really good at graphic design, and specifically making flyers for people. And like, I would pretty much, like, my big thing, and I'm still like this, but like, my big thing was like, hey, I'll make something beautiful out of whatever you already have written out. So like, I was not good at writing, I was not good at whatever. I was good at, like, headlines. I can make headlines pretty good, but I wasn't good at, like, any of the other, like writing. And so I always would defer to the other person, say, hey, you get me a Google Doc over and I'll design this for you. I'll make it awesome, make it great. And I did that for so many years. But I remember like, going into the companies and thinking to myself, like, the copywriters are the real goats. I'm like, these people that write for a living, like, I have such love and respect for them. And like, because I was, it's something I could not do. And then, like, flash forward into today, chapter 2, present. There's this thing that comes out, like ChatGPT. And you can literally write into ChatGPT, write me a blog article, write me a flyer, write me a sales, whatever, write me a script. And this is just writing. There's so many other things. And it understands your tone, your message, all these different things. And it does it. Like, you would have to hire someone or pay someone to do that before, but now you don't. And it does it instantly. It would take hours or days for someone else to do it. Now it's instant. And that right there, like, someone, if you think about, like, what an assistant is, right? Someone that's on your team, right? So they have your best interest, that knows you well, okay? That when you're like, hey, I need X or Y, or what do you think about these things? They're able to actually give you a better response, like a better response than almost most specialists in the world. They're just instantly, no lag, none of that, just pretty much instantly. That, like, you can call that an assistant, you can call that an advisor, you can call that a mentor. I don't know what you want to call it. But if you go to someone else and talk to, ask someone to do something, there's so many boundaries, there's so many things in between that stop you from having that forward momentum, where it's like, it just makes it not worth it. You're like, okay, nah, never mind, it's fine. But now ChatGPT allows us to, anything that we think in our head, like before, anything we thought in our head, we can go to Google, and then Google does its best to put relevant results up top, and it did a great job at this. It still does. And then you would then go kind of scrolling through a couple of things and read through. That was pretty much the best way we could get almost instant access to information, which that's what Google is, massive information highway. But now there's the AI that's on top of all of this, the whole internet, that is able to contextualize and understand what we're thinking about and how we want it displayed. It's able to do it 100 times better than what Google was doing for us before. Now, of course, Google has Gemini, their new AI. I haven't really tried it out. But like, it gets easier and easier and easier as time progresses, and we're at this point in time now where, as parentpreneurs, we value our time over everything. We value that shit so much. And squandering like your time or not being intelligent or smart about your time, it's literally like you're burning money. Like you're burning, like you could be working that time that you are now spending trying to figure out XYZ. There's so many different things that just you can do with AI, specifically ChatGPT, that will make your day-to-day, like speed up your day-to-day. So I think I'm just gonna try to go through a few, like I'm gonna go through my calendar, when I wake up until I go to sleep type of thing, and try to like tell you all the points in time that I'm using AI. And I'm using AI probably more than once an hour at this point. So let's see. I wake up. I ended up needing to get a routine for the kids, good hygiene routine. I looked up on AI, best way to go about doing that. Boom, right there. I can contextualize and say, hey, my kids are this age, and these different things. So it's able to kind of contextualize it for the age ranges. So I did that. I don't do that every day, but I did that when I woke up. Then take a shower. Then I literally just pulled up my phone and say, hey, and this is what I like to do, at least for videos, is I'll pull up the, I'll pull it up. There's like a little microphone, not the talk, like back and like there's just like almost just like a microphone that you press on to write words. So I'll pull up the microphone and say, hey, chat, and I keep this all in one thread or whatever for depending on what the task, what the things are. So it kind of has previous contextualization. I'm like, hey, what up, chat? I'm thinking about making a video about how to be a boss, right? And then what I do is I then talk for like 2 minutes about the contextualization about, at this point I was having this problem, I didn't believe I could do X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. And then I don't have to look for grammar, I don't have to look for any of that. I press cool, start or send or whatever, the send button. And then it's like, hey, Will, that's a great idea. Because like I said, biggest yes AI person in the world. And then what it'll do is it'll literally take everything that I said, it will break it down into some bullet points of what it's thinking, and then it's like, here goes some titles that I think would be great for you. Here goes a hook that I think would be great for you. Here goes a thumbnail, single word that would be great for you. And here's what's interesting is that initially it didn't do all of that, right? But because in the thread before when I first started the thread, I'm like, hey, what are the top 50 problems that parentpreneurs are having? And it'll list all that. And then I start looking at titles and figuring out what one I want to do, and over. And then I say, hey, actually I need a hook for this. Great, okay, actually I also need a thumbnail. And now it's at the point in this one chat that I have, that every day I can wake up and say, here's what I'm thinking for a new video. And it knows that I need a title that's rated on a score system of 27. It knows that I need a hook, and it knows that it needs a thumbnail. That's a one word, like a one-word thumbnail. It knows all that. So it frees up so much of your mental to know that, like, if you want to do something, you have access to do it right now. Like, there's never been a time where being able to do something, like being able to actually execute on something, it's so easy. Like, you don't need permission anymore. Like, the gatekeepers were the schools, the gatekeepers were, people that had all the information. There's no gatekeeping anymore. I mean, I'm sure there is, but like the public access to all this information, contextual to you, that's the difference between Google and the AI. It's like it understands your life, and so therefore you can make it much more relevant to you, and it changes things. It's like, hey, I'm 180 pounds. I'm trying to go up to 200. Trying to do strength training. These are the machines at the YMCA currently right now. What do you recommend for the routine? All that was contextual. My weight, my goal, what I'm trying to do, the actual machines that are available to me, all that is contextual. But you don't get that when you go and read a Google article about weight training. Like, you try to do your best to match it and find something. Hey, you try to find something, but you're still you're trying to do some guesswork and patch things in between. You don't have to do patchwork anymore. Anyway, so with my routine, record this video. Then what'll happen is, once this is done, I'll upload it to YouTube. I'll then have it create me, like I said, I already have the hook and all that stuff done. Then next step will be going to the gym. So I go to the gym, but then I use it as a tracker as well. I can use it as a tracker each day to kind of keep track of stuff. So I use it there. Or, hey, Chad, can you make me a checklist for workouts that I need to do at the gym? And pretty much it's an ongoing checklist. And then you take that checklist from Chat and put it into something like Notion or your checklist, your task manager. Cool, got it. Boom, done. There we go. After that, I'm saying every part of my day, every part of my day, AI is that. Go to work. I use it to also gamify my work. So I know what my daily target of how much money I need to make. And sometimes I'll play different games football, where it's 4 quarters and I need to make X amount. And so what I can do is I can literally screenshot, let's just say an order comes through or whatever, I can screenshot that, put it into AI. Hey, should I take this, not take this, boom. Or this is what I took, so it keeps track of what was taken and the details of the order. So it helps me make more money in that case as well. Whenever I'm doing closing deals or sales calls or I'm like, hey, can you, I'm talking to XYZ, can you make me an agenda? Can you make me an agenda, or can you make me a script for this thing that I need to do? Every part of my day, and I'm still working on convincing my wife to use it. She'll use it every now and a blue moon, but it's like a superpower. It really is like a superpower. I don't think I'm gonna get too far in the weeds, but you guys get the point. I'm just adamant about how this is, it's a game changer for parentpreneurs, where you value your time the most. And I think the thing is that it might just be the unknown. You don't know how to use it yet, or you don't realize what it can do. And that is, I encourage you, please, take a week to get acquainted with AI if you have not already. It's 2025. If you haven't already, get acquainted, because it's like the difference between you'll spend your entire life working for money, but the real leverage is in a lot of the stuff that we already have today, which is technology. I made the example before where it's AI can do something that's it can save you. For instance, if I needed to write out a contract, okay, it would literally take me at least half a day or a full day to get that thing done. On some real talk, it's just not what I do, and I don't, but I can literally go over to Chat and say, hey, Chat, I'm doing a deal with Bob. We're talking about XYZ. Can you write me up a contract for that? And it literally can spit it out in 1 minute, right? And let's just call it 10 minutes because it might take you a little bit of time to finagle back and forth. 10 minutes to 8 hours, right? Like, I don't have a calculator to tell you what the math on that is. I'll try to do it still because I love math. Let's see, 6 times 8, 480 minutes would be 480 minutes would be an 8-hour day. And if it does it for you in 10 minutes, 480 divided by 10, that means that the AI can make that contract for you 48x faster. 48x faster. 48x faster. If you can do your job 48x faster, like, you know how much more money you could make? Like, in general, like, if it, it's the equivalent of like something taking you in a whole 40-hour week to do, and you're able to do it in 1 hour. That's how big of a change, like, that's in, because you can quantify this. You legit can quantify this because you know your baseline. You know how long it takes you to do anything. You know how long it takes you to write a blog article. You know how long it takes you to, whatever the thing is. And so all you have to do is like, okay, it takes me this amount of time and I do this every time. Now I'm going to try this new way with AI. How long did it take me when I did it with AI? And it's at least a doubler. At least a doubler for you. Like if you can double your output of work, like, you should do that. You should highly recommend. You should definitely do that. All right. Let's move on to chapter 3, the future. This will probably be a little short, tiny chapter because I feel as though I've exhausted this. I'm passionate about, like, it just fits into everything, like everything that you could think of. It's like, at first you don't know where it would fit in at, but then you put it into one place. And like, wait, I can actually do this over here. I can actually do this over here. Like, it's a drug. It's a drug. Okay. So how do I see this in the future? Okay. I currently have an assistant. She's a vibe. She's an absolute killer. I love it. What's interesting is that I still use AI, pretty much my AI assistant, to help me communicate with my assistant. Where, like, for instance, we had to figure out very quickly a time zone difference. And I was like, well, I work at this time, and I also work at this time, and her time zone is this, and my time zone is this. Chat, what's the best working times for us? And it spit it out. I copied and pasted it, put it in the chat, boom. She's like, this is perfect. And I'm like, this is perfect. Before, I would have had to really think through that and be like, okay, is that right? Is that the right thing? Is it like, now I don't. Like, I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, yo, bro, I don't know everything. You can depend on me for some things, but I don't know everything. So, like, you should use ChatGPT. It's a vibe. It's a thing. And they're about it. They know it. They know that they can. They're like, yeah, Dad, I'm gonna double check that. I'm like, yeah, you probably should double check that. Future-wise, like, it's I'm gonna continue using it. Maybe I'll start to learn more different AI tools, because I've been a loyal fan of ChatGPT, but I do know that there's other AIs out there, and I'm sure there's different nuances to them. So being able to be a little more, like, understand a little bit more about each of those, I think that'll be good for the future for me. And then just leverage, just leveraging up, continuing to use AI, buying back my time, just being smart about opportunity vehicles. Excuse me. That's where I see. Anyways, Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm gonna go ahead and get on to work and vibe out. All right, take care. Peace.